Saturday night, 78,000. We got some of the main people up on stage now just to have a word with, just to feel what's happening, especially in Team Parker. I'm going to start with promoter David Higgins. David. Soak it in, David. David. Playing the villain, you won't mind that at all. Tell this wonderful crowd here in Cardiff why your man Joseph Parker is going to wreck British dreams on Saturday night.
Look, I think both fighters have earned massive respect. Look, the talk is done. You know, we did say some things to put this fight together, but here's an honest assessment. In Anthony Joshua, I think he's got a height advantage. I think he has probably a weight advantage, maybe a touch more power. He's earned an Olympic gold. He's turned his life around. We do respect him. However, I think a lot of you guys are overlooking Joseph Parker's clear factual advantages. Let's go through them. Parker's never been down, not as a kid, not in the gym, not as an amateur, and not as a professional. Joseph Parker has never been down in his life. It's true, it's true. Can't handle the truth. Second, he's faster, he's quicker, and he's got better movement and mentally tougher. So, it's a great fight, it's a close fight, and probably the greatest fight of the year. So we appreciate all the fans who support on both sides, and to anyone who's thinking of coming or buying the pay-per-view, you'd be silly to miss it, because it's going to be explosive. The first time two unbeaten heavyweight world champions have met, I think, since Mike Tyson, perhaps in the 1980s, to unify. So it's a massive occasion.
Let's move to the other side. Promoter Eddie Hearn. Well, that's different to Wembley.
It's a lot better. It's a lot better. Just a very one serious thing before we get on to Parker and Mr. Higgins. As you know, everybody who's in here today, we have over 4,000 people in here today. Everybody paid £1 to get in. Unfortunately, just under a month ago, a young fighter, Scott Westgarth, lost his life. The £1 that you paid today will go to the family of Scott Westgarth. It's over £4,000. We'll top that up to £10,000 from the Matchroom Boxing Foundation. Thank you, and God bless Scott Westgarth. Now, this is a massive fight, and I know you guys give my esteemed colleague a little bit of stick. He's actually a good guy, but you may not see that yet. But if anyone knows of any jobs going on Monday, you know.
I challenge Eddie. Joseph Parker wins. Never wear that turtleneck again. Never. It's disgusting. Disgusting. Yeah, he got me. He's quick. He's quick.
On a serious note, this is a brilliant fight between two undefeated heavyweights.
1, 2, 3, testing,
For me,
testing, 1, 2, 3,
you
1, 2,
guys
3,
are
1, 2, 3.
You're going to cue me, sorry. Down here when you see,
okay.
I don't like to jinx it, that little number rack up on the scales when AJ gets on the scales shortly. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, what's happened to British boxing over the last 4 or 5 years has been incredible. This is an 11-month period. The third stadium fight for Anthony Joshua, 90,000, 80,000, 80,000. I know.
Two world champions on British soil. It's what we've all wanted.
Well, I think it's
I'll echo what Eddie Hearn said, the state of British boxing at the minute, and it's always led by the heavyweights. Heavyweight boxing, it's almost a different sport to every other weight division. And with AJ and what he's doing, the stadium fights, but now we've got Parker, Joseph Parker, undefeated. He's coming here to take the belts. If you listen to him and you look at how he's conducting himself, his body language, there's nothing in his eyes that tells me that he doesn't believe in himself. This guy believes in himself, he's a big lump, he can punch hard, and he's never been beat. So the fans are in for a real treat. I'm just really excited. I cannot wait for this fight to happen. As soon as they've been on the scales, that's the last job they've got to do before that first bell goes.
What are you expecting on the scales? Both are coming lighter, both are coming for sharp speed, for foot movement. You think it's going to be about that tomorrow night?
I think Parker will come in as he usually does, maybe slightly lighter, but there's word around the campfire that Anthony Joshua is coming in quite light, and that should give him the speed and the longevity which he may need.
One quick line from Johnny Nelson. Johnny. You get the cheers this time. How do you see it going?
I think this is an interesting fight. If AJ doesn't touch Parker early, it could be an early night. But I'm thinking this is a long distance fight. Parker looks in brilliant condition. He's come here looking fresh, on point. He looks slimmer from the last time he went. When we did the gloves are off, I thought Parker wouldn't last that long. But now Parker's coming very confident. He's trained really hard. He's probably looked at the Takam fight and looked at Anthony Joshua and thought he looked a little flat mid to late round before the fight was stopped. So he's hoping to drag it into the mid to late rounds. Trust me, the longer this fight goes, the more it suits Carlos Takam, but the more it suits Joseph Parker. But the problem is this: the second Anthony Joshua hits this man on the chin, he's never been down before, he's going to be taken into a new world where he thinks, I've never been there before, because none of his opponents are anything like Anthony Joshua. He's got a height of 6'6", a reach of 82 inches plus. Parker has to try and push Anthony Joshua back and get inside his reach. It's going to be a tough ass, but I think it's going to be an entertaining fight for everybody involved.
Johnny Nelson, Carl Froch, Eddie Hearn, and David Higgins. Guys, enjoy it. Have a great time at the weigh-in and ahead of Saturday night's big fight.
Thank you, Adam. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, good afternoon. Welcome to the Motorpoint Arena here in Cardiff, Wales. Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing in association with Dugo Events is proud to bring you Joshua Parker, Unification for the IBF, WBA Super, WBO and IBO Heavyweight Championship of the World. It's at the Principality Stadium, Cardiff, tomorrow evening. It's live on Sky Sports box office across the USA on Showtime and syndicated around the world. We're grateful as always to our sponsors William Hill, Manuka Doctor, StubHub and JD Sports, and conducting the weigh-in on the stage from the British Boxing Board of Control, Mr. Ron Pavitt, Kevin Fulthorpe and Jeff Williams. Right, let's get the first boxers onto the scales, ladies and gentlemen. 6 3-minute rounds in the super middleweight division. Please welcome from Aberdare, Wales, Morgan Jones. So ladies and gentlemen, Morgan Jones coming to the scales, undefeated, 12-0, 5 inside the distance. Former Commonwealth, WBO European and WBA Continental Champion. $11 stone, 13 pounds and 6 ounces for Morgan Jones. And now please welcome all the way from Auckland, New Zealand, Iron Mossy Oimatangi.
Dance with my dogs in the nighttime. Trap with the the triggers like Popeye. Money changing colors like Tada. I'm just trying to get it, I ain't trying to die. She got a big ol' on your booty, make the world cry.
I get busy on them, I get busy on them. Until the break of dawn, I go overtime. 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 Until the break of dawn, I go overtime.
Perfect professional record. 4 contests, 4 wins, 3 wins inside the distance. Joshua Buatsi.
Until the break of dawn, I go overtime. Until the break of dawn, I go overtime.
12 stone, 10 pounds, 3 ounces. Joshua Buatsi.
Until the break of dawn, I go overtime. The funk climbing master, blaster. Until the break of dawn, I go overtime. The funk climbing master, blaster. Until the break of dawn, I go overtime. Ride the funk.
follow him down with a rim walk, which would be on the sky camera. Right, I get to it and go out here and back up there. Right, that's what we do.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll see them tomorrow evening in the Principality Stadium. Lightweight crown, please welcome firstly from west of London and Belgium, Hakeem Ben Ali.
Champagne, ain't no face, and ain't no name.
Hakeem Ben Ali, a two-weight national champion with 19 wins from 24 contests, coming to the scales.
Show me what you twerk with. I'm in that white ghost, chasing Pac-Man. 100,000 lot, I'll be leaning, that's a rock. 100 large, bring them my car, send it like a rock. Got a brain struck in my pocket, 30 chains on my collar. Got them 2 drops, no mileage, top off like Wallace.
Inside the limit, 9 stone 8 pounds 2 ounces for Hakeem Ben Ali. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Welsh Wizard Show, Cordina! Joe Cardina undefeated, 6-0, 5 inside the distance. Also inside the limit, 9 stone, 8 pounds, 5 ounces. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see them tomorrow at the Principality Stadium and live on Sky Sports Box Office. Our next title contest onto the scales, the vacant WBA International Welterweight crown. Please welcome from Mexico, King Carlos Molina. On the stage supervising for the World Boxing Association is Mr. Jesper Jensen. And Mr. Ron Pavis for the British Boxing Board of Control alongside the President, Mr. Charles Giles. As always, ladies and gentlemen, we are grateful to our sponsors, William Hill, Manuka Doctor, StubHub and JD Sports. Carlos Molina steps onto the scales, former IBF Super Welterweight World Champion. Ten stone, 5 pounds, 7 ounces. Carlos Molina. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Sunderland, Tyne and Weir, Josh Pretty Boy Kelly.
I like what we started. I don't wanna leave the party. Keep moving my body. Keep moving my body. I like what we started. I don't wanna leave the party. Keep moving my body. Keep moving my body. Fresh kicks when I step in. Lip gloss for a second. Ain't here to learn a lesson. It's an all-night session. 2 shots now I'm on it. A little something in my pocket. Straight vodka, no tonic. Come and tell me if you want it. Turn it up and then press rewind. I'll be doing it on
Josh Kelly, ladies and gentlemen, on to the scales. 2016 Rio Olympian, undefeated professional, perfect record. 5 contests, 5 wins, 5 KOs. 10 stone, 6 pounds, 5 ounces, both inside the limit. Josh Kelly.
Sorry, Fraser. Just to check, am I picking up from Sports News and handing to Buffer, or they're going straight to Buffer? Okay, no problem.
I like what we started. I like what we started. I don't wanna leave the party. Keep moving my body. Keep moving my body. I like what we started. I don't wanna leave the party. Keep moving my body. Keep moving my body. I like what we started. 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 I like what we started.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll see them tomorrow night on Sky Sports Box Office. Our next contest onto the scales, international lightweight contest. Please welcome, firstly from Mexico, Edson Ramirez.
Hey, what kind of water is that? Just pit waters. Hey, what kind of suit is them? Just place your orders. Hey, what kind of whip is that? Came imported. Oh, you rockin' the bronze set, 40 pointers. You changing wheels, sound like new joints. Where you hell yourself? You done did yourself. Dang it, big. Pull up in a red rave. We so lavish.
I mean, young gunning. Just wait up. We don't got no talk for these boys. Just shut up and bet up. The rolling on ring flare. My wrist is just wet up. The plug is called like what up.
Edson Ramirez, 21 contests, 18 wins, 8 inside the distance.
Can't pose with us. No. Cardiff, you say I owe you. You never grow with us. Diamonds in the ear got big. I told you. Flooded back in the seed. And throw that stroke.
9 stone, 10 pounds, 8 ounces, Edson Ramirez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, former WBA lightweight champion of the world, the fighting pride of Manchester, Anthony $1 Million Crawler. Former two-weight English champion, former British champion, former WBA lightweight champion of the world, Anthony Crawler. Nine stone, 10 pounds, 6 ounces. 9-10-6, Anthony Crawler. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll see them tomorrow night at the Principality Stadium, live on Sky Sports Box Office. And now we have the WBA Super World Bantamweight Championship. Please welcome the challenger, the executioner from Venezuela, Yonfres Parejo. Eight stone, 5 pounds inside the limit. And now time to welcome the champion from Belfast, Northern Ireland, Ryan Burnett.
Go. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up.
8 stone, 5 pounds, 8 ounces, Ryan Burnett.
Shorty, what you want, shorty, what you need. My niggas run the game, we ain't never leave. Counting up some money, we ain't never sleep. You got V12, I got 12 V's. Got bottles, got I'm all the way up. Shorty, what you want, I got what you need. Shorty, what you want, I got what you need. Shorty, what you want, I got what you need. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. All the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. For my niggas with Bentley coupes and Rolexes. Kicked the out the room and gave her no breakfast. Had to stash the jewels, these just so reckless. Keep on, so cruise, I'm talking
Just shout me when you're being sent to me. Just shout me when Buffer's ready and you want me to hand it to him. Okay.
Yeah, I got a few rings and I'm all the way up. And you can stay up.
Thank you, gentlemen. The challenger, Jon Fez Parejo, the champion, Ryan Burnett. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our penultimate weigh-in of the afternoon for the vacant WBA Intercontinental and the WBO International Heavyweight crown. Would you please welcome, firstly, from Liverpool, David Price. As always, ladies and gentlemen, we are grateful to our sponsors, William Hill, Manuka Doctors, StubHub and JD Sports. David Price stepping onto the scales, former English, British and Commonwealth heavyweight champion.
Welcome from Cardiff on Saturday night here in the Principality Stadium. For the first time on British shores, we have two undefeated reigning heavyweight world champions going head-to-head as Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker put it all on the line in front of nearly 80,000 people. We'll be hearing on the stage from my colleague Craig Slater and Matthew Macklin. I've got Carl Froch here watching with me for this afternoon's proceedings. Carl, how excited are you by this atmosphere, a fitting atmosphere for what is a fantastic fight?
Very excited, but it's becoming a familiar scene for Anthony Joshua weigh-ins. This one feels a little bit more special. Joseph Parker undefeated. He's coming here to win, and you can feel the intensity of his team and the people who are around him. He's got a little bit of what's it, rugby? You know the rugby dance to do. They've got that. Yeah, that's the one. So they've got that going off. And when you see them perform that, you just feel the intensity of the whole event. It's fantastic.
Anthony Joshua going to be brought on by a marching band as well, which is also going to be exciting. Terrific atmosphere, as I say. The fighters slowly but surely making their way to the stage. And when Joseph Parker looks out there in front of 4,000, he'll get just a little bit of a taste of what he can expect tomorrow night.
Yeah, which is good, because it just warms him up nicely for the big crowd who's expecting nearly 80,000 tomorrow at the Principality Stadium. Anthony Joshua's been there, seen it, done it all before, but he's got a lot of pressure on him, don't get me wrong, he's still going to be feeling the nerves, but it's a good chance now, it's a good warm-up, good teaser for Joseph Parker to sort of realise and sink in and what he's got to expect for tomorrow night.
They've talked about him being confident, they've talked about nothing phasing him at all. How much of a difference is it going to make, though, when one of those big right hands lands from Anthony Joshua?
Well, that's it, how will he respond to that when the right hand, if and when the right hand lands, which I'm sure it will. He's a tough kid, isn't he? We've seen him hit with hard shots through his whole career. He's unbeaten. He's never been over. So how he copes with it then, and what's Joshua going to do if he takes his best punch? This is why we're so excited.
We are indeed. We will see what they look like on the scales. Let's hand over to our MC for the afternoon, the one and only Michael Buffer.
Let's get this party started. Now coming to the ring, the WBO undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Lupisoli La'aoli Oli Maliatoa, Joseph Parker.
Wow. Wow. That was the London Samoan and Maori cultural group. It was a haka of support from a New Zealand and Samoan Cervantes. Incredible stuff, really. And as Joseph Parker makes his way up to the stage here, worth reflecting on some of the words of that haka. They're this: the Samoan man, may you succeed in your mission. The Samoan man, here I come. I have now come completely prepared. My strength is at its peak. Move aside and make way, because this man is different. Will this man be different to the other 20 Anthony Joshua opponents? They have all lost, and they've all lost by knockout. But Joseph Parker comes here with an unbeaten record of his own. He's 26 years of age. He's had 24 fights, 18 of them inside the distance, and he smilingly acknowledges that performance. Of Samoan heritage himself, his father Dempsey was named after the great American heavyweight Jack Dempsey, and it'll be fascinating to see just what he weighs in this afternoon. His career heaviest, remember, 17 stone 8 pounds when he fought Andy Ruiz to win this WBO heavyweight title, and he's been as light as 16 stone 10 and a half. Matthew Macklin is with me. I think he's going to be light, somewhere around 17 stone here.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he feels he's got the edge in speed. He's the faster fighter, more durable. I think he knows he can't stand in front of Anthony Joshua for 12 rounds and have a fight. So I think he's going to go for mobility, and I think coming in a little bit lighter will obviously help that.
You just wonder if now it's getting to him. He'll have never been in anything like this before, certainly not for a weigh-in, and maybe only 2 or 3 of his fights the actual crowd has exceeded the numbers which are here today. Having said that, Matthew, he's looked cool throughout.
Yeah, he has looked cool, but like you say, this is off the scale. This is only the weigh-in, and there's, it's packed out here. 4,000, over 4,000 people here. He is a world champion, but he's never fought on a stage like this, in an event like this, and that will be getting to him now.
Okay, Michael Buffer will now welcome Anthony Joshua.
And now making his entrance to the official weigh-in, the Olympic gold medal champion, the undefeated WBO, WBA, IBO heavyweight champion of the world, AJ Anthony Joshua!
I've been moving calm, don't start no trouble with me. Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me. Don't pull up at 6 a.m. to cuddle with me. You know how I like it when you loving on me. I don't wanna die for them to miss me.
So here he comes, a huge smile on his face as he makes his way out to the stage. Shaking hands with people, very much a man of the people, Carl, and seems to be in a pretty good mood to me.
He does, yeah. He's getting the superstardom treatment, which he thoroughly deserves. A real people's champion, taking time there, I think, on the way in. He's doing selfies on the way, I'm not sure, but he looks happy to be approaching the scales. He doesn't look worried or nervous to me, but we'll see what happens when he comes face to face with his foe, Joseph Parker.
It will be very interesting to see how the pair of them will look when they actually get on the scales themselves. A lot has been made, of course, about whether or not Anthony Joshua has taken a little bit of bulk off the shoulders, particularly. His footwork looked very, very good in training when we saw him last week, and certainly in terms of the public way workout that was on the other day as well. Huge crowd here at the Motorpoint Arena, over 4,000, and giving Anthony Joshua a terrific reception. As you would expect, the man has become something of a phenomenon, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, he's certainly crossed over to a whole new audience, not just boxing fans, the next door neighbour. Everybody's tuning in and watching this fight because this is the official superstar.
This contest also presented in association with Duco Promotions. And so we will have the fighters step to the stage. First, he is the heavyweight fighting pride of all New Zealand, the reigning and defending undefeated WBO heavyweight champion of the world, Joseph Parker.
So here comes Joseph Parker. He's first to the scales. Here comes Joseph Parker. He's first to the scales. 17 stones 7 for his last fight. He's just walking right past me now with his trainer, Kevin Barry. Got all sorts of unusual eating habits. He eats things like tarantulas, scorpions, and raw fish. But he's had a diet prepared for him by his trainer, Kevin Barry's wife, Tanya, in the 10-week build up to this. He looks great, Matthew.
Yeah, he looks in good shape. Looks like he's enjoying being here. Like I said earlier, the realisation of the event now will be kicking in, but I think he seems to be taking it in stride.
16 stones,
just wait to hear now what he's weighing.
7 ounces.
That was something, 16 stones.
Next up on the scale,
just under 17 stones, I believe. He looks very good indeed. But that's light. That's close to his lightest ever, if that's confirmed.
Heavyweight titles. The Olympic gold medal champion, the fighting pride of all United Kingdom. He is AJ Anthony Joshua.
I've been moving calm, don't trouble with me. Trying to keep it
25.
There's a struggle.
20 wins, 20 knockouts.
Let's have a look and see how Anthony Joshua looks on the scales now. We wait for the official announcement.
17 stone, 4 pounds, 2 ounces for the reigning and defending
17, 4 and 2, Carl Fox. What do you make of that?
Anthony
well, that's
Joshua.
very light, coming in 17 stone, 4, 2 ounces. We've seen him in as heavy as 18 stone. So for me, that's very good news. That means he's looking to work on sharpness and speed and longevity. If this fight indeed goes 12 rounds, I think he'll still be fit towards the championship rounds, 9 through to 12. For me, that's good news. That's a good sign.
Only 6 pounds difference between the two of them, so it's very evenly matched in terms of the actual weights. Of course, Anthony Joshua very slightly taller by 2 inches than Joseph Parker, but a big reach advantage of 6 inches for Anthony Joshua as well. We know how he likes to do work from long range, but for a big man, he's also very effective on the inside.
Yeah, very effective. I mean, he's a good all-round fighter, a great, great experience, and we've seen it time and time again how good he is. These two fights will be coming together in a minute, but all the questions will be answered tomorrow night, and the build-up for this has been amazing.
Anthony Joshua not messing about in terms of getting himself ready for the one final head-to-head shot, because Joseph Parker is having to be tempted out from round the back as he gets himself half-dressed before coming back over. He's keeping Anthony Joshua waiting now, and here we go for one last time. The two of them, first of all, stage their face-off against the audience, and then it will be eyes locked against each other. Both of them looking very, very confident, very cool and calm. The belts being held aloft. 4 world titles at stake here tomorrow night at the Principality Stadium, and now for the last time, eyes locked between Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker. For the first time on British soil, 2 undefeated reigning heavyweight world champions going head to head. So much at stake in the heavyweight landscape. The world will be watching as these two go head to head tomorrow night.
Are you ready?
Live and exclusive on Sky Sports box office. And this crowd of over 4,000 here at the Motorpoint Arena in Cardiff, lapping up every second. Applause from Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua. As Anthony Joshua throws a few shadow punches, he is ready to go. So too Joseph Parker. We are as well. Join us very, very soon. We'll be hearing from both of the boxers.
Heavyweight titles.
I hold back, sometimes I won't. Yeah. I feel good, sometimes I don't. Hey, no. I finesse down Western Road. Hey, yes. Might go down to G.O.D. Yeah, wait. I go hard on Southside G. Yeah, wait. I make sure that Northside eat. And still, bad things. It's a lot of bad things that they wish and they wish and they wish and they wish and they wishing on me. Bad things. It's a lot of bad things that they wish.
Weighed in on the scales in front of a terrific reception. What about that from these fans here today, AJ?
I started off my career in London. I thought London was turned, but Cardiff definitely show out for a good time. Honestly, they definitely show out for a good time. I know people have travelled from different parts of the country, but we're all here to have a good time. And tomorrow, as I always say, it's not only the main event, the undercard is packed, so make sure you get there early to enjoy a good night of boxing.
17 stone, 4 pounds, 2 ounces. We knew you were going to come in a little bit lighter than last time. How does that feel? Are you happy with that?
To be honest, You know when you're carrying a bit of extra weight, I know there's some of you out there that are having too much dessert, so I know you know what I'm talking about. It makes things difficult, but I've been running well, training well. There's been tough times in camp, but honestly, losing that little bit of extra weight has made things a little bit easier.
So you feel maybe a little bit better than you have done in some previous fights?
I feel better. So training camp is all about rehearsals, sparring's about rehearsals. So when I put this weight into the real thing, if everything goes to plan, you'll see I'll be a lot sharper, and my reactions and timing will be a lot better.
6 pounds the difference between the two of you. What did you make of how Joseph Parker looked?
He looked really good, but that's what I expect from a champion. I wouldn't expect it any other way. And as I'm always aware is that when people are coming over to these sites to fight, they come well prepared. So that's what I say, you'll be in for a good fight for sure.
His team have talked a lot about his confidence and how...
Just Joseph Parker, just Joseph Parker. And he turned.
Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give a big Cardiff welcome to Joseph Parker? One or two technical problems there, but Joseph, you're quite close in weight between the two of you, more than I thought it was. He's come in light. What does that make you think?
It makes me think that he's taking this fight very seriously. He's trained very hard. He's in good shape, I'm in good shape, so there's not much of a weight difference, which is it's good. You know, we're both going to be, I think, fast for tomorrow night, and we're both going to move well, throw some big bombs.
You had more time to look into his eyes there. You've told me that you think he's angry, that maybe there's some nervousness there. Did you still see that today?
No, I saw confidence. You know, he's a good champion. I saw confidence, so I'm expecting a really good fight.
How does this fight unfold? I mean, you'll both look to execute your game plans. Those first few rounds, could they be a little bit cagey?
The first few rounds, you know, there's a few ways they can go. We can either test each other out or we can go in for the kill. So it just depends on who's going to follow their game plan first and who's going to execute it to the best of their ability.
Are you ready possibly to have to weather a crisis or two? We're at elite level here. These things can happen.
I'm ready for anything. I'm here for a good fight. I'm here for war. You're going to have to give me everything to beat me.
It's a Joshua crowd. You've got your supporters here too. Can they make themselves heard?
I got my supporters and I heard them and I saw them. You know, he's got a bigger crowd, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't faze us.
Joseph, what happens tomorrow night? Give us your dream view. I know you've dreamed about the outcome. Let us into how it unfolds, how it finishes.
The biggest thing for me is the challenge of fighting someone like Joshua, and then the challenge of fighting, if it goes into the dark place, how long will I stay there for? How fast can I come back? The result will take care of itself as long as I'm ready and determined and confident. You know, I'm here to win.
You're not worried about his power, his size, that he might lean on you, that you're away from home, that you'll have to win rounds very clearly to get decisions and so on?
I'm not worried about it. You know, we've done everything we can in training to prepare, sparring partners, sessions, we've gone through a lot of things, game plan, so there's nothing to worry about. You know, just follow it, do it well, and execute it, and then come away with a victory.
Joseph Parker, one last fist bump. The very best of luck to you tomorrow night. Thank you. Yeah, he's confident and he knows what he's doing. He's got a plan that he aims to execute.